When you say the economy is improving, and here we are, aware that 2023, when your government came in, exchange rate was 420, 450. The average purchasing power of Nigerians out there in the street, it can't resonate with them. When you say our economy is improving, foreign reserves are increasing, and so on, it doesn't resonate with the average Nigerian. When I said your government, I know we are the Senate of the Federal Republic, but he's spokesperson defending the policies of the executive arm, which I did not contribute to, which I don't think you contributed to, except maybe as a party man. First, the issue of capital release has already been raised sufficiently, and also the percentage that was given by my dear colleague, Senator Karimi. Honorable Minister, the importance of that is that if by last year, 2024, the capital release was only 22%, what it means is that a lot of projects scattered across our country are stalled. We know so about our little constituency projects that are going on. You need to assure this committee and Nigerians, and particularly the businesses that are affected, the contractors, the business people across the country who have come to do business with the government, who have been waiting for payments. They were assured that they will get their releases to complete their jobs last year. Budget has been extended, and here we are, even in 2025. But as a corollary to that, if we could only achieve 22% last year, does it mean that this year too, with all the best of intentions, we're probably going to achieve the same? And in that case, the wider question will be, why are we going through this ritual? Why are we laboring ourselves, preparing and defending a budget when we are not sure of implementation? So you've got to, you and your team, and the Accountant General is there, she's the one paying, you've got to devise a way by which, maybe using this opportunity or another reason, to assure the Nigerian people what your government is doing to ensure that contractual obligations that have been entered into, for which jobs are going on, and there's a way by which you can address that. I thought I should add that. Then, secondly, as coordinating Minister of the Economy, I don't have much to say about your budget. There are others who will say so, because I think we can trust you and your team. Our job is to scrutinize how you expend your budgeted amounts, but some others will do so. But I think we can trust you and your team. But of far greater consequence and importance is the wider issues affecting the Nigerian economy. And as you're not just Minister of Finance, because this whole budget thing is on your table, it's on your desk. Even if you were just Minister of Finance, budget is about finance. But in your own case, you're also coordinating Minister of the Economy. So we have major concerns. Nigerians have major worries. I know, even seated there now, you've reeled out some statistics and data, and maybe statements of intention as to the fact that the economy indices are improving and that Nigerians need to be hopeful. That's quite consistent with what we have heard from the government up until now. But between you and I don't know about colleagues here, but for me, it doesn't resonate with me. When you say the economy is improving, and here we are, aware that 2023, when your government came in, exchange rate was 420, 450. And here we are talking of 1,700 and still counting. I know Mr. President in his budget laid out a very ambitious plan of pegging it at 1,005. Well and good, he himself admitted it was ambitious, but we pray for the best. But that's where we are. inflation is skyrocketing. Our debt exposures are increasing. And the average purchasing power of Nigerians out there in the street, it can't resonate with them. When you say our economy is improving, foreign reserves are increasing, and so on, it doesn't resonate with the average Nigerian. So, quite frankly, I would like you to use this opportunity once again to assure us what you have been doing, but most importantly, for this year, 2025, this new year, what you intend to do differently, because clearly, all that the government has been doing from 2023 till now has not worked. So, it's good to hear what you have done, but we have not seen the practical results. You could have it in the academic analysis and so on, things like that. But what can you do to show that you will do differently to ensure that these parameters are not just reflected in your records and analysis, but the average Nigerian out there feels it? Thank you.
Before the next question, I will just digress on some of the points my distinguished colleague have raised. First, let me clarify that we are in governance, and governance is all of us. So there is no dichotomy of political dichotomy when it comes to governance. So we're all going to take responsibility of what is going on. I think if I can summarize what he mentioned is the issue of inflation, which you have spoken about, and I will want the Honorable Minister to realistically look at it very well. Let's make a statement that Nigerians will actually believe in what we're doing. We know what we are doing, and there's no any other better way to do it now than the way we are doing it. So the comfort is for us to give Nigerians the language they will understand very well, so that by the time they see the inflation coming down, they will believe that we have said it. So, Senator...
Can I clarify that? Let me clarify the misconception that Mr. Chairman introduced. Of course, with the little you know about my antecedents, I believe you know that apart from that, that I know that when we are discussing economic issues and so on, we are one government. But you see, the gentleman there is representing the executive arm. That's why we are seated this way. So when I said your government, I know we are the Senate of the Federal Republic, but he's spokesperson defending the policies of the executive arm, which I did not contribute to, which I don't think you contributed to, except maybe as a party man. Okay. So those are the things I meant. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman, Vice Chairman, Senate Committee on Finance, and distinguished members, including those who have just introduced themselves. Thank you. I think, just as you rightly said, Mr. Chairman, the conversation, the questions are leaning in a certain direction, and we don't intend to evade any. So the issue of the capital budget, performance of it, which we agree still has time to run. There was a time, for those who are interested in sports, that Senator Abiru's team was 2-0 up, and it looked all was lost. But the others' team caught up. So with this, the aim is to catch up by June 2025 with the capital expenditure planned and appropriated initially in 2024. There is hope, there is commitment. And I'll explain where the funding is expected to come from, because it is not just an empty hope. But if you permit me, it takes going back down memory lane. In May 2023, before His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over, the country was fiscally, economically going fast downhill. Some people would use the word finished, and I'll tell you why. Oil revenue, the mainstay, oil production was at 1.2 million barrels and going down. Insecurity stalked the land. Agricultural production was down. How was the government getting by, including maybe paying capital releases? It was living a false existence. When a payment needed to be made by the government, they simply printed the money. Central bank simply credited the government's account. Of course, that was and is any day the road to total crisis. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he saved the economy, he saved the society. How did he save the economy? In his time, every penny spent has been earned or has been procured in the financial markets on willing buyer, willing seller terms. Because they believed in his macroeconomic plan, the multilateral institutions, the repositories of the cheapest money internationally, 40 years to pay back, 10 years moratorium, 1% interest. We approached them, they looked at our plan, and they believed in it, and they provided funding. Then the bilateral institutions, a bit more expensive, provided funding. Then Nigerians, through issue of a domestic issuance of dollar bonds, they too believed in a macroeconomic policy. They brought funds from abroad. They too supported. And finally, we had a resounding outing at the Eurobond market. So Nigeria, since May 2020, has been paying its way. Central Bank does not allow debit above the legal limit. It doesn't allow debiting of government's account in order to make payments. And so, all payments have been made in the proper manner, which is fiscally sustainable, since May 29, 2023. In addition, and in order to have a stable macroeconomic environment, the wasteful expenditure up to 5% of GDP. If you take GDP at roughly 400 billion, then that 5% is $20 billion was going on two subsidies. As we know, the petroleum subsidy and the foreign exchange. So that was $20 billion going to a few people that was retrieved to the Nigerian purse. But let us be frank with ourselves. It was not done on one day. The explanation, Mr. Chairman, of where the money will come from now is that that saving was not done on one day. It took time. But by October 2, 2024, you had market pricing of foreign exchange, market pricing of petroleum products, and the money has started flowing. That's where it's coming from. NNPC today is at 1.8 million barrels per day. That's where the funding will come from. The price is...
Sorry, Honorable Minister, as at October,
Yes.
as at October 2024, there was stabilization.
Yes.
Can you also add, between October and today, was there any increase in the CRF? And if there was, how did it go? Is it going to the federal government, or it's been also shared among the states? Because what you are trying to say is that there is more money into the economy. So Nigerians need to know where that money is.
We have had, let's say, 3 months in which we have had higher flows, and everybody saw it. Last month, the Federation account shared 1.7 trillion naira. The governor of Central Bank was alarmed because one of the things that is inflationary is too much money chasing too few goods. And that is why, Mr. Chairman, I was just trying. And so let me go back to say, because it's important that what we say resonates. I said the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu changed the Nigerian society. I have to explain. Before the advent of President Tinubu, for 40 years or more, when I started my career, what you did was you attacked the distortions that were in the Nigerian economy. You either tried to get an allocation of foreign exchange. It's important, Mr. Chairman.
Honourable Minister, I asked you a very direct question.
But I've answered
and that question is that after October, there is more revenue.
Yes.
And that revenue is not just going to one tier of government.
Well, I've explained it, sir. Okay. I said, for example, 1.7 trillion came in and was shared. Not came in. There were still savings. It came in. That money comes into the Federation account. And we saw the spike up such that there were even inflationary fears. So the point to be made there is that having worked so determinedly to ensure that the revenue that belongs to the Federation comes in to the Federation and is not dissipated elsewhere, certainly we'll make sure that those funds that are due are not now dissipated or held by NMPC or anybody else. I think that's the answer to that. But Mr. Chairman, sir, let me finish. The society is no longer one where you can seek rent. It is no longer one where you can look for an allocation of foreign exchange from Central Bank or anywhere else that will be below market, that you will sell and double your money. The society is no longer one where you get to NMPC, get a piece of paper and sell it for $250,000 because that's the arbitrage that was there. That's the change in the society. But based on that, and I think I've said the capital expenditure for next year, where will it come from? Increased, and I'll just run through it. Increased oil production at elevated high prices that we have now. Non-oil revenue, particularly from government-owned enterprises. Higher taxes from tax revenue because companies have started to invest again now. They have a stable environment. And also, we are crowding in international direct investment, international private-public partnerships for infrastructure in particular. And on our own, we have mobilized Nigerian savings to put in place what should be a housing construction boom, because for the first time, perhaps in this economy, but for a long time, you will have low interest mortgage finance where people can borrow at low interest rates for long periods and purchase houses. That will ignite a construction, I would like to say boom, but definitely construction activity will increase. And we all know the multiplier effect. So in a nutshell, the optimism is based on the fundamentals that we see opening up in the Nigerian economy. And once again, inflation is a key target to bring it down to affordable levels and reasonable levels. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I believe you have